It's like reunion week. It's like a high school reunion every year. Not every 10 years or 25 years. Every year. We talk to him all the time on the phone, but he is here live in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. The great Joe Theismann, who played right here, not in the mall, but at Metropolitan Stadium,
Old
Bloomington,
Stadium,
Minnesota.
Great to be here.
Good to see you,
The
Joe.
sun used to set right above the stadium, and you hated looking into it. Fran Tarkenton, I played against him when he was up here in Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings, it's interesting. This was the only place in the National Football League where both teams were on the same side of the field.
Right.
And it was interesting, it was interesting going out of bounds into someone else's bench. And, it's like they sort of creep closer and closer together as the game went on. And it was, there'd be some looks and some pushing and some shoving. It was a different world in the NFL at that time.
Absolutely. We got a chance to talk to Carl Eller, one of the great Purple People Eater guys. And, we were talking about it because downstairs they have the home plate where the Minnesota Twins used to play, where Rod Carew stole home 7 times on that home plate. So they have a bronze one. So when you walk around, the history is here. It's like in the Philadelphia area. There's Willow Grove Mall, and it used to be an amusement park. This used to be a football, baseball stadium, and now it's one of the biggest malls in the world.
Plus, for me, it's very special because I was drafted by the Minnesota Twins coming out of college to play professional baseball.
That's right. So you have roots here. Brian Baldinger lived here.
Baldy lived here, too.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we talked to the WWE superstar, Joe Laurinaitis, whose son James was a linebacker in the NFL.
Right.
He actually was born in Philly but grew up here and raised his family here. So there's amazing how many connections there are with Minnesota from so many people.
And this mall will last forever. We see a lot of the big boxes around the nation struggling a little bit because of lack of traffic. Not here. I mean, the amusement park here is as big as there is anywhere
exactly.
in the country.
It's world class.
It's unbelievable. I mean, and they have, here we are at a food court.
Right.
What's better for people that work on Radio Row to stumble over about 15 feet away and grab whatever you need and come back?
Well, that's what Luigi does. He has to carbo load, so he's got all these different choices. He's had a shawarma, he has that falafel.
This sucks because I'm on my way to get a coffee, and all of a sudden I get you got to come back. We got to tape Joe. So the first time I get to meet you, I wish I never saw you, Joe.
I feel bad now.
But it is interesting being able to tell our fans that want to come visit us, we're right across the street from the Shake Shack.
That's it. Absolutely.
And you can't miss my banner. I mean, I'm the only guy who has the big banner. This is the space we have on this show, Joe.
But the banner,
look at the rest
banner
of this.
is all you.
It is. And our Thin Optic sponsor, of course.
I'm actually on the back, Joe.
No, Joe's Luigi's on the back, and Robin's on the back side of me.
I'm on the bottom.
Joe, you're supporting everyone, Robin.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
There, that's exactly right.
I'm on the rinse and repeat side, as Tony would
Yeah,
say.
this is a rinse and repeat. It's actually a step and repeat. I never knew it was called that. But I call it rinse and repeat because it makes more sense.
We can't forget the Michael David Winery either.
No, you can't.
Absolutely not.
You've had Michael David wines, right?
I have.
The Earthquake's in, and they have the great. And you're a big wine guy too, Joe.
I do wine. I mean, of course, the greatest wine guy out of Philly is Dick Vermeil.
Oh, absolutely.
Dick with all his winery and stuff.
Yes.
The job he's done so much with.
Now, the Seven Deadly Sins is their most popular, but their gluttony is fantastic.
No,
I don't know if you've heard.
Joe, and Dick Vermeil, when he was with the Eagles in '78. I used to have him on my local show in Philly.
Sure.
And back then, he was a wine guy.
Do you know that every bottle of Dick Vermeil wine has a teardrop in it?
No, I didn't. Oh, come on, now.
He cried all the time.
No.
You didn't get that?
Come on, I got it. I thought you were being really mean-spirited
I would
here.
say in your case, I wasn't mean-spirited. That was a compliment. In your case, I would say it goes over your head. But you and I have known each other so long, it bounced off and took right off into the daylight.
I just got up, Joe. I mean, we're running hard here. We ride hard.
Dick had everything. Dick had just coached with so much emotion and so much passion for the game. And whenever he'd do one of his press conferences, it's like I'd ask him, when are you going to cry? So I figured, why not have your wines have like a teardrop in it?
That's a great. You should tell Dick that. I'll tell him when I see him this week. He'll be here.
You definitely don't want the 1980 vintage then. You definitely
no.
definitely don't want that.
That's not a very good bottle.
Although
not a good year.
Although the Rams Super Bowl one does not have any tears.
No, the grapes didn't go very well. Right.
Joe Theismann here on Radio Row with us. So you've been him to a million of these things, and the one thing that bugs me about the media. And I guess I used to be a part of it, is that everybody complains.
What do you qualify yourself
I'm
now
I'm a raconteur. I'm a bon vivant. I'm a world traveler. And so I love everywhere I go. When I go to a place, Joe, I don't want to go and say, man, it's cold out. It's supposed to be cold out. It's Minnesota.
Yeah.
People complain about everything. Luckily, I'm not one of those guys. I appreciate this. I'm going to go ice fishing tomorrow on Lake Minnetonka. Have you done that?
Hey, Mooch and Michael Irvin, you'll love this. They went fishing. I saw Michael Irvin last night when I checked in. Michael and Mooch went fishing yesterday, okay? Michael's fish or line wound up hooking Mooch's, so Michael landed 2 fish.
Did he really?
They had to get a ruling from the NFL whether it was a catch or not.
Oh, give him a rim shot, Louis.
I didn't put the board up.
Joe's delivering more one-liners, and
What's
I'm usually
wrong
the
with
guy.
that?
No, it's a great one.
That's a great one.
But you know, I heard that later
And by the
on-
way, they got it right.
They got it right.
That's
I heard
even more
Gene
acceptable.
Steratore then had to run out with an index card to make sure that the fish weren't too close together.
It's which one got there first. How do you have to pass a rule? This is amazing. How do you all of a sudden have to have a meeting and pass a rule and say, oh, by the way, we're not going to use index cards to determine if somebody made a first down anymore. Only in the NFL. God love the NFL. I mean, they, at least they're willing to admit things and change things. Tony, they have to. Number one on the agenda, you have to be able to explain what the fans want to see,
Exactly.
what the coaches want to see, what the players want to see. What is a catch? I have a solution.
I know you would, Joe, so give me the solution now, and I'll bring it to Mr. Goodell on Friday when he does his State of the
You have possession of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 feet down. It doesn't matter what happens going out of bounds.
Totally
it's
agree
a
with
catch.
you. Totally agree.
The next part of it, you catch the football, it touches the ground. It's an incomplete pass.
Even if your hand's under it?
No, it doesn't touch the ground if your hand's under it. See, I'm saying, but if it's not whether it moves a little bit.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
Just eliminate all of that garbage and baloney and stoppage of the game and reviews. I think the fans will respond in an extremely positive way to that.
And
So
it's, you know what, and I agree.
A catch is a catch, a not catch is a not catch.
Here's the thing that's even more ridiculous. When you're running with the ball, if you're a running back and you're going to the goal line, all you got to do is touch the line or imaginarily pass it. Somebody knocks it out of your hand as you're doing it. Once you get to the white line, it's a touchdown.
Exactly.
So that's not that shouldn't be a touchdown either, because it's harder to catch a football in the end zone, come down with 2 feet, and then complete the catch and then fall out of bounds and then worrying about whether or not it's going to be knocked out of your hands. That's much harder than running it in and crossing the goal line as a running back.
Let the officials focus on someone's feet.
Yep.
And whether you have possession.
Exactly.
Not stare at them as they lay on the ground and, that ball moved just a little bit. Oh, let's go to replay. Let's go look at it.
I totally agree, Joe.
Let's not go do that.
They have to do that, and they have to fix the
I agree with
the officiating things that they can fix.
Yep.
Because, the instant replay is good, but it shouldn't be that long. It shouldn't
They
take
gave
as
the
long.
coaches an opportunity to challenge so they could go to replay.
Right.
Not to provide the officials with every opportunity to go to replay. And by the way, we have technology available that they can implant in footballs and decide whether it breaks the goal line.
Exactly.
So we don't have to review every touchdown.
And the other thing is the chains. Here we are in 2018. Here we are in 2018. We're playing music now all of a sudden.
I love that.
Remember that song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now?
Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
The Eagles, Dick Vermeil's team used that, and the Phillies used that back in the 80s.
I think it should be brought back.
I was bringing it back, but it came out because you were here. So anyway, let's get back to the chain thing. Because, whenever there's a short distance, 3rd and 4th and goal, 4th and 1, and the team goes for it. Then a referee comes in, this line judge, a side judge, comes all the way in, grabs the ball and puts it down like he knew exactly where it happened.
You don't.
There's got to be some sort of electronic way to know where the ball wound up.
There's been too many advances in technology.
Guys coming out with chains and then pulling them tight.
You can have the chains there.
Just so the players know where the first down is.
But
yes.
if the ball, in some way, shape, or form, sends a signal that it's been made, it's been made.
Exactly.
You hit the ref on his mic and say it's first down.
Yep.
Okay, first down.
Well, maybe they want the intrigue of everybody on piles, and then the guy goes in there, and then they bring the chains out.
There's no intrigue because you have no idea where the ball was.
Exactly.
Well, there's one fatal flaw, though. If you deflate the ball, it doesn't work. That's the one.
No,
There's
that's
no
not
such
work.
thing as a deflated ball.
I know that, Joe.
You want to hit him now, Joe? Can you hit him?
No,
now that you can
I'll
see
hit
him.
him.
His guns are too big.
I know, he
He's a
works
young
out.
man's too big.
Although he's been
Nah, I
complaining
can
that he
take
doesn't
him.
have time to go to the
I can
gym
take
here.
him.
Robin, whack him for me, will you?
Well, that's because you have quality Nordic stock. You come from up top with the chop.
Yes.
That's what it is. I fight low in the trenches. That's the difference.
And
No,
Joe will not complain about the weather when he comes to Minnesota like the soft people.
I'm
He's a
not going
grizzled
outside.
Huh?
I'm not going outside.
You're not.
It's somewhere between 68 and 74 where I am every day. I'm fine with
It
it.
snowed overnight.
I know it did.
But they
I
know
read
how to
about
take
that.
care of the roads.
I heard about that
I
on
had
the
to
news.
actually go. I had Luigi go out and wipe the car because I got a rental car.
You asked Luigi to go out and do
No,
it.
I was going to go do it. I
have
put my boots on. I'm ready to go out, Joe. I'm not one of these soft
I know
guys.
you are. You're a toughie.
You're damn right I am. I'm Philly tough.
You're Philly tough.
Speaking
man.
of Philly tough,
Fly, Eagles, fly.
are the Eagles going to win this game?
You know what? I'm picking New England only because if the last 10 years haven't taught us anything, you just don't doubt the New England Patriots. I would not be the least bit surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles win. They bring as complete a football team to this competition as anybody that's played the New England Patriots. They're good on offense. I think their receivers are just chomping at the bit to make plays. Their offensive line did a terrific job against Jacksonville through the playoffs. I think they did a terrific job against the Saints, or against Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
I think they did a fabulous job.
Yeah.
Now, it's different. They haven't seen this team. There isn't, what you saw of the New England Patriots is not what you're going to see in this game. And again, you don't want to place a lot of burden on Nick's shoulders, but it's going to be up to him to protect the game. I think they want to run the football.
Yep.
I think they want to keep the ball out of Tom's hands. And I believe this, if the Eagles do get up by 14 points, I don't think that New England's going to be able to come back against this football team.
Totally agree with you because with all due respect to Doug Marrone, you can sense when Jacksonville had that lead, they were content with just trying to.
Well, but how about this? How do you and New England waits for you to make a mistake.
Right.
Jacksonville game.
Yep.
You come out of a timeout. You get a 5-yard delay of game penalty after you pick up a sizable gain.
Exactly. That you can't do that.
You can't ignore that as part of the game and the opportunity to be able to win it versus make the mistake and lose it. New England believes in this. They believe that if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us. We are not going to try and beat ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's the way they play.
You're absolutely right. And the one thing that the Patriots haven't seen this year with all the teams they play is a defensive line that can just keep sending
It's a
fresh
front eight.
guys out. Yeah. And that's a factor because Brady will tire guys out. And you see defensive linemen get tired out on long drives where
Yep.
it's just, dinking and dunking down the field and moving the chains.
Yep.
The Eagles are going to have fresh guys all the way through the end of this game. So there will not be any let back. They won't even have to, I don't think they have to send max blitzes all the time either because of their front eight, as you say.
I think this game also is going to feature Zach Ertz versus Rob Gronkowski. The tight ends will be huge in this football
Mm-hmm.
game. Tom loves to throw the ball in the middle to Danny Amendola and Gronk. And Ertz, to me, is a security blanket for Doug and Frank in their play calling, and also for Nick. He made the big play on the big drive. So, as you look at what the Eagles can do, I think they bring a very diverse offense with a lot of different abilities on the outside to be able to make plays. And if their defense provides them opportunities for short fields, they're going to put points. And how about the young kicker from
Yeah.
out of nowhere?
Jake Elliott.
Think of New England's World Championships. 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. 4
Vinatieri was
points,
the
6
guy
points.
early, and now they have Gostkowski, who was really good too. But
That's
you're
right.
right, Elliot. The Eagles are finally, we all can agree, a complete team ready to maybe end the dynasty that is not forever, but at least stop it right now.
I think this could be the last run for the New England Patriots because one of the most consistent aspects of their football team, besides Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, has been their coaching staff.
And it's
I think
they're
Josh
getting
McDaniels
squawked
been
out
with
of there.
Tom a long time.
Yep.
Matt Patricia's been there a long time. Both of them should get head coaching jobs. And so when you change those positions, you don't change the concept, but you change the philosophy ever so slightly, and that can be the difference.
And the last thing is, I got to ask you this because it happened, the big story late yesterday. Your Washington Redskins. Kirk Cousins is gone. They bring in Alex Smith. Were you stunned when you heard that last night?
I was very surprised because I didn't think they'd make the deal for Alex. I knew Alex wasn't real thrilled with staying for one more year in Kansas City. Thought he might go someplace else, maybe the Giants, maybe one of these other teams that are going to be looking for Kirk Cousins right now. I think it worked out very well for the Redskins. They didn't give up too much. They got a quality quarterback, and everybody says, well, you just sort of traded, a Kirk Cousins. You got a similar quarterback. You'd love to have a similar quarterback. great touchdown to interception ratio, high 60% passes, 4,000 yards passing. Why wouldn't you want a similar type of a guy? And Alex, I know, is going to be excited to be in Washington. It's a fresh start for him.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Kirk Cousins? Now, I know people in Denver who say the Broncos,
they want him.
They have to have him because you can't have John Elway hit another ball into the water, as in Tim Cup. You can't take another chance with another quarterback and hope that it works out. You got to bring somebody in to stabilize this thing.
It's too hard to learn the position, to be in the position Denver is in, to bring a young quarterback in and help him try and learn. You know, you had Paxton Lynch who got hurt too much. So what you do is you go get yourself a veteran, and Kirk is the only one on the market.
Right.
You know, Case Keenum. Okay, take your pick. Which one do you want? They're not the same quarterbacks.
No.
You know, Denver's looking. I think Jacksonville will be looking because Blake Bortles had surgery on his wrist, plus he's a $19 million number next year.
The Jets.
So you upgrade a little bit. The Jets are one. Buffalo, possibly another one. And, of course, we can always say Cleveland. I think they're looking. But
no, I agree. Kirk's there's an open market
maybe
for
somebody comes out of nowhere, but I doubt. I think it'll be one of those 5 teams.
And I think, and well, we mentioned Buffalo, and obviously they want to make the next step up, and you bring in a veteran quarterback who's played well, and as you mentioned, Kirk's had a great career in Washington.
Minnesota's another one that you could possibly move. I mean, you know, Teddy, you hope he's well. Sam, you hope he's well. Case did an excellent job, but I think you basically saw what you're going to get out of Case Keenum.
Breaking the world down as only he can, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to give you the thin optics, Joe.
Yes, but we also have news for as you know, this city is a little bit leery about all these Eagles fans coming, and the word has come out to local establishments. And unlike other Super Bowls where different bars designate them either the one team or the other bar, nobody so far had been willing to designate themselves an Eagles bar.
An Eagles viewing bar on Super Bowl Sunday. And you know, in Washington they have Eagles bars.
Absolutely.
They have Chiefs bars. Every city has.
At my restaurant in D.C., we get some days it's the Steelers coming in. Some days it's Eagle fans. You know, you get that.
You know, I still haven't been to your restaurant down there, Joe.
Well, you've been invited.
All right, I got to come down.
It's not my fault. It's your fault.
But Tony, they reached out. Town Hall Brewery. Tony will be hosting the one and only Eagles viewing party for the Super Bowl Sunday.
For the people who don't have tickets, you want to watch it. It's a great brewery. It's actually the most awarded brewery with their craft brews in the city, right near the stadium. So it'll be a great time.
You know what? I'm so excited for the Philadelphia Eagle fans. I really am. You know, I played in the division and you know, great times against Jaws and Dick and all those things, and Mike Quick and all those guys, Bill Berge. You know, all my friends now, all the guys I competed against. I'm so excited for the Eagle fans because they are so excited about their football team.
Yep.
And I'm thrilled for Nick. You know, I think he's just gotten better and better and better, and Frank and Doug have gotten more and more comfortable with him. You know, Alshon basically said to Torrey, I listened to it on TV, that's why we came here. And that's why they're here, and they're impact guys. And I'm excited. You know, LeGarrette Blount, okay, he's got a ring from the other side. Chris Long has a ring from the other side. And just what can you say about Chris Long? To dedicate his entire salary to help so many people. To me, these are the kind of stories that the world should know about our players in the National Football League. Yes, we have people that make mistakes, but by golly, we ought to just trumpet everybody like Chris Long and the guys that give back so much.
Absolutely.
And to the Eagle fans that are just, I'm thrilled for them. Having, you know, being a fan of the Redskins, rooting for a couple of Super Bowls that I didn't play in and the ones I had a chance to be a part of, it's sometimes it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Exactly.
And for so many young kids out there that have never seen it, their parents have said, we've been to them, but we've never been to the Promised Land. I think the Promised Land's a lot closer than people think.
Absolutely. And then they'll finally, the one thing I think the fans, including myself, because I've been there my whole life, is finally, we don't have to answer that. You don't have a Lombardi in your trophy case, right? Because that's the ultimate.
That's
the
it.
only team in the division and one of the few remaining teams that doesn't have a Lombardi.
And there are only 32 quarterbacks that have quarterbacked world championship football teams out of the 52. I mean, think of it.
Can I touch the ring, Joe?
Sure
Let me touch that.
For good luck.
Oh, yeah, I want
Feels
to touch
good,
it for
man.
good luck, too.
Luigi, touch that for good luck, man. What do you mean, no?
Touch the ring.
What?
Touch the ring.
It came from a division rival, man. I want no.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay, now you're getting it.
We made him touch.
That was a fake touch.
I
That
say
wasn't good.
all these nice things about the Eagles, and you hit me with that.
Wow.
do us all a favor. Go get something to eat.
I will. I love him.
We don't need you on the show.
I love him.
Definitely
We
not.
don't need that kind of
Go
attitude.
away.
That's anti-eagle attitude.
I'm just
It is.
kidding, Joe.
There's loyalty and then there's...
You're like what
Robin told me to
gives
be
him a
quiet, not
bad
say anything,
name.
so I'm not saying anything.
No, you were
My
saying.
Robin tells me to be quiet all the time.
How is Robin? We haven't
She's
seen her.
great.
I
Is she
know.
here?
Robbie, no, she's not. This is crazy. You know, this is
It is
crazy
crazy.
for her, but she's home.
I remember when I used to see her when we used to go to like lobbies before the place
Yeah.
became a mob house. We could actually sit around in the hotel lobby.
She said
And
she said I did it for 20 years with you. Go. I'll see you later when you come home. So yeah.
The great Joe Theismann. Give him a roaring round of
I've already
applause
got
there.
ready to go. You kidding me?
There you go. Joe,
Thank you
it's
very
great to
much.
see you, brother.
Thank you very much.
That's it. That's the
Thank
right
you.
way.
I'll
See,
give you the right way. Thank you very much. Thank
That's
you
the
very
Queen of England.
much. That's it.
That's because you know what she's doing when she waves that way? Putting in a light bulb in Buckingham Palace. That's how she does it. Joe Theismann, ladies and gentlemen.
Tony, you're priceless.
Thank you, Joe.
You are. They ought to put a statue of you right next to Rocky. I got to tell you.
No, if the Eagles win, there'll be I'm taking the Rocky statue down and building one for Nick Foles and
That's it.
Carson Wentz. I'm going
I
to
think
put
it's
two.
side by side. They should be arm in arm.
I think Tony should have his arm hooked around Rocky. But his arm around his waist. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joe.